It's funny. I got dust everywhere from the concrete cutting. So my keyboard's like dusty. Moving on. This was something that hit home for me, and we'll talk about it now. And I want to talk about it to get it out there. This is overall, it's a fight about quality of life. Whose quality of life? If the question of if a property is there, a use of the property, say an industrial property, has been there for 50 years, and you come in and you decide you want to put houses next to it, should you be able to, if the industry is still operating? Let's go through this and see. It says Bradenton Motorsports Park Freedom Factory urge racing community to fight against urban sprawl. Look, I think that's fair. Like Braden Motorsports Park is a drag strip. We'll go over where it is. And the Freedom Factory, that's Cletus McFarland's Freedom Factory. It's where he films, it has events. And like he's put a lot of money into it and put a lot of time into it and put a lot of effort into it. He may be being rewarded financially for it. I don't know his situation, but I do know that like the car culture is like, it's a good one. It's a positive one. Young fellows, young women, anybody that's interested in, turning a wrench on their own car, modifying it, they should be celebrated. The people that say, well, you're, harming the environment, or you're a hooligan, or give the people something to do. Does it cost money? Yes. But there's a reason to get a job so you can buy more stuff for your car. Let's get into it. It says county commissioners in Manatee County, Florida, are proposing the construction of 4,500 homes directly next door to Bradenton Motorsports Park and the Freedom Factory. Now, that is a lot of homes. It says the proposed 4,500 homes are outside the urban boundary line and would sit on what is now 2,700 acres of land. A fence with a maximum height of 25 feet and a noise abatement has been requested, along with the development project to deflect the sound from the race cars. We have a classic case of how racetracks die. People move in and they complain, said Garrett Mitchell, also known by his persona Cletus McFarland, at the Manatee County Planning Commission meeting. We're urban planning today. What we did 50 years ago was urban planning. We moved them out of town to prevent this exact issue. He's exactly right. And I've seen this happen with dirt track racing in St. Louis, dirt track racing in the St. Louis metro area. There was a racetrack. Oh man. Valley Park had a racetrack. The argument there was that the emergency vehicles couldn't get underneath a railroad tunnel. So that's why that one closed. And they are building over there the last time I saw. Let's see. Peevely's still going, but I'm worried because 60 acres of land directly to the south of them is currently for sale. That's not good. Godfrey, Illinois was, I believe it was turned into a concrete mix factory or something. It didn't have a good end. There's lots of dirt tracks that have been reduced to nothing because the people move right next to the track and they complain about the noise and the dust, and then they have to go. Now, this isn't a dirt track, but it's an asphalt track, but the same issues occur. It says Braden Motorsports Park was founded in 1974 and is rich in drag racing history. Yes, it is. In fact, I don't even pay much attention to drag race. I've been to a few drag races, and we have Gateway here in St. Louis, or Worldwide Technology Raceway. I don't want to. Anyway, great stuff. But I do know of Bradenton, and I'm not even a big, I'm not a big drag racing fan. It said the premier drag racing facility hosts some of the biggest events in the country, including the Snowbird Outlaw Nationals, U.S. Street Nationals, FL2K, and the upcoming 2023 Drag Illustrated World Series of Pro Mod. So this is Drag Illustrated, and they're going to have an event at Bradenton, and also let me put forth one other thing that may not be obvious. Like dirt track racing in St. Louis lasts from maybe October, maybe the beginning part of October. That's where it stops, and it starts right about April. And the reason why it stops is it rains and it's cold and nasty, and no one wants to sit outside. And so what happens is right around February, all the good local race car drivers, all the ones that are really like interested, they'll go down to Florida and race for the first month of the season because they race all year long there, which is nice. So like it's important for racing. Let's continue. It says, it's very disheartening to have this come up after the upgrades both facilities have been undergoing the past couple of years. We've been working very hard to have two great facilities, not just for our national events, but also for our local events, said Victor Alvarez, Bradenton Motorsports Park track owner. Now look, that guy has had to deal with a hurricane. I saw it on Cletus McFarland YouTube channel. You know, they had lights and signs and stuff fall down. It was bad. Mitchell recently purchased the oval track, which is now named the Freedom Factory. It was abandoned in 2017, but Mitchell has since restored the track that is home to many successful events. He has spent good money. I mean, they redid the track, you know, parts of it that were messed up, a lot of painting. He put in bleachers. I mean, he's invested many thousands of dollars into this project just to have someone rezone an area that was not an issue is tough. We bring hundreds of thousands of people to Manatee County, explained Mitchell, and how the tracks boost the economy. I don't think the current plan they are proposing can protect the racetracks and their historic value. I agree with that because for an event, there's so many people down there. But then when an event ends, I mean, there's all kinds of traffic concerns, and people that are living in these 4,500 new homes are not going to want to put up with that. We've had a great impact on our local economy and our local car scene. We plan to fight as much as we can to prevent this from happening, said Alvarez. We know what can happen, and this can lead to if we get 4,500 homes built next to these two facilities. We're not going to go down without a fight. Yeah, I mean, essentially what will happen is they'll just be getting cited for noise or citing for, dirt or noise pollution, or they'll say that there's environmental issues. I mean, this is a bad thing. This is a bad thing. I am 100% on the side of Cletus McFarland, Braden Motorsports Park, Freedom Factory. I think it's a great thing that they did. I really do, and it's a shame that it might get taken away from them by government. That's the last article. Let's get to some tweets tonight. I'm not going to do that many of them. We're not running late, which is odd. Here we go. This is Andrea Rickreer. It says she's responding to this article from Yahoo. It's actually from The Street, but it's paywalled. So I did the tweet. I put the tweet in the link, and then if you guys want to go play around with the paywall, you can. It says, just put any shit in the headline to get a click, not even remotely the same circumstances. My God, 15 years ago, the housing market crashed under similar circumstances. I read the article. It's like you can't do two. I mean, how do I put it? You can't put more than one article. You can't read more than one before it goes to a payroll. At the end of the article, it says, well, it's not anything like 2008. That's in the last line of the article. Now, I did want to talk about this from the perspective of me. As you guys know, like I've tried really hard to not have clickbait. I've tried really hard to not do sensational things like, stunts, basically. I've tried to have just a straightforward YouTube channel where we talk about real estate, but you can see the numbers aren't good for me. I'm not able to bring in a lot of subscribers. I'm not able to get a lot of hours of view time. And I mean, it's bad. I can totally understand how businesses and everybody, how they see this and why they do clickbait and things like that. I mean, just on Google alone, if you write an article, let's say you write a blog post and no one's searching for it, it could be the best blog post in the world, but no one's searching for it. You're not going to get the numbers. So it's how things are set up now. You don't have to like it. It's just the way it is. Will I succeed based on, my quote unquote principles about this? Probably yes, because I'm just pigheaded and stubborn, and I'll just keep doing it. But it's not an easy path. I mean, an easier path would be to, like the easiest thing for me to do tonight would be to grift off of the Freedom Factory. Okay. Cletus McFarland has way more than 1 million subs. If I could get like 3 people to watch the video of that part, I could probably pick up like 4 subscribers, maybe. But I'd have to be like Freedom Factory closing in all caps or something. And then I have to have a picture of me like with my hands on my head or like I'm crying. And people would watch it. I'll probably do it that way. No, I won't. I don't even think I'll put it up as the main part of the headline. In fact, I don't even know what the headline is for today. Let me look. Some real estate news, some Twitter inclusion rates, rents. Okay. We'll see. Okay. Let's move on. This is Genevieve Roche Dector. This is a meme that's been going around. You can see all these people. There's Reagan. There's Warren Buffett. There's George Bush the first. Says, and then I said, we'll stop inflation without crashing the market. There's not a lot of people that think that the market's going to be. I don't know if that's Buffett. It looks kind of thin at that picture. Look, I just don't see how this is going to be a soft landing. I also don't see how I don't know. I just don't I don't see look, my perception is that the people that are going to get most hurt is not Wall Street, but Main Street, just as we took it on the chin in 2007, 2008. I mean, I think of it as a populist class warfare, significantly damaging the working class, the people that actually do things. You could see it during the pandemic. There were people that were called essential workers. They were allowed to do whatever they wanted to, but your plumbers, those people, they just had to go to work. Real estate agents, we just had to go to work. We weren't able to take off or work from home. Same thing with this. Look, Wall Street's out there. If Wall Street goes down, those people are smart enough to put puts on the market. They make money when the market goes down. They make money when the market goes up. It's not hard to figure that out. But it's a question of who is the government. By the government, I mean the Fed. Who are they going to hurt to bring down inflation? They're going to hurt the people, not Wall Street. They know who cashes their checks. I said that wrong. They know who writes their checks. Moving on. I thought this was interesting. I don't know if it's going to show up right. I'm going to leave it. It's supposed to go for a minute. This is the UK housing market most unaffordable since the Victorian times. And you can see, like, we just went to 1920. It was, and then, like, of course, the orange is unaffordable. The rest of the time is affordable. 1945, all of a sudden, unaffordable houses, post-war building boom. Now we're going up in the 1960s. 1965, 1970, all of a sudden up and then way down. 1980 still affordable. Now all of a sudden 85 went up. UK economic success inflates wages and poverty or property. I'm sorry. And now in 2000, it's just up. It's unaffordable. It's unaffordable. It's unaffordable. It's been unaffordable since 2000. So the last 22 years in Great Britain have seen unaffordable home prices. That's not good for the people. Moving on, homes for sale. The world right now, realtors, anyone want to buy a house, the world right now is burning. See, that's the issue. Is the world burning? Like, is what I'm reading true? Because when I go out, I don't see it. I see people on the streets, but most of those people are homeless. Like, they're homeless because they've got issues. Our local governments have been loath to take care of those people. Somehow believing that it's your right to stand on the street and panhandle. I don't, it's not, it hasn't been traditionally, but anyway, you got that. But you talk to your friend, they haven't lost their job. They are upset about the inflation, but you don't have this huge amount of, economic woe being reported. I think it's there. I mean, I think that when you see the credit card debt in the United States, I mean, it's like, what do you think those people are spending that money on? Credit card debt is typically people spending money on things they can't afford and hoping to be able to pay for it later. Look at the savings rates. The combination of low savings rates with high credit card debt is not a beacon of positive things to come. This was interesting. I did not read the opinion piece. But I did read this tweet from Aaron Lehman. It says, if the nation's central bankers had more foresight, it would not be so hard today for millions of people to achieve home ownership and a secure retirement. It's worse than Alan's letting on here. The Powell Fed had the data and sat on it. Not only did the Powell Fed sit on data showing that inflation was ripping in the first half of 2021, multiple Federal Reserve officials were exposed trading on their own accounts for pandemic profits. This has all been buried under the rug, of course. Yes, this is true and wrong. Wrong, unethical, and I believe that Congress and any member of the governing class should not be allowed to trade while they're in office or performing in their official capacities in government. But this is a pipe dream. This is a pipe dream. So I'm going to close that. It's going to go black here in a minute. So, what did we learn tonight? Well, I thought we learned an awful lot. We learned about people stealing deeds. We learned about the economy probably isn't going for a soft landing based, if you believe the same economists that I do. We learned about maybe some collusion in rents for college towns. That's kind of fascinating. The Freedom Factory under attack. Had some fun with some tweets. Is it a great time to buy a house? If you need to buy a house, buy a house. I'm never going to say it's not a great time to buy a house. Just know what you're getting into. I think that's the part that freaks people out the most. With that, I'm going to head on out. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I'll catch you on the next one. Goodbye.